Hey guys, let me reach everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene. Let me get my headband on so my hair doesn't blow in my face all the time. That does help when I have this headband. So let me get this on. It keeps my hair from becoming a colossal mess. So today, as you know, is Saturday. We have a night show tonight at 7 o'clock. I only bought the soda. I did not buy anything else. I thought about buying a brownie, but Carmen kind of laughed when she said, "No, there ain't none. They're all sold out." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So, I didn't buy any donuts either. Just a soda. So, this morning, we covered a lot of interesting topics, and some of them may not have interested everyone. For example, the video done by an older gentleman. I'm going to post a link for that video in the description to give him proper credit for it. So I'm going to get to that this afternoon. When I get home. So watch the video description for the link to the video that I featured a part of. And I gotta be honest, some of the costs that some of the women I know pay to look a certain way is insane. I'm not kidding you. If you were paying, like that one woman said, thousands of dollars a month for so-called beauty, you have no idea. Because there are people that money that you just spent on cosmetics, wigs, styling, restock, as she calls it. No, basically keeping up with supplies. You could have put half of that or more than half of that in the bank and saved up. Or like you said, put some of it into investments. Now, I'm not going to lie. Investments are scary, and you know it. I know it. People know it. Okay? Investing money is expensive. But the point I'm trying to say is, like he said, all that money that those women are spending and complaining they're going broke. They had the money, but they're spending it. And because they're spending it, they're not saving it. Because they're not saving it, of course, they don't have any money. Now, let's add something to that reality. How many of you guys are running up a credit card debt? Yeah, I'll be honest. I had a credit card debt. How are you trying to pay down that credit card debt? How many of us you didn't even have to do that? Okay. In other words, credit card debt, you run it up, you gotta pay it off. It's just common sense. It doesn't matter. Try to cut back on your expenses. You want to increase the P to E ratio. Or is it E to P? In other words, you want to lower your equipment expenses to profit ratio, but you want to increase your profits to expenses ratio. Okay, so clearly that means you have to lower your costs. Now, that one woman that said that she spent like $1,300 a month on hair and wigs and makeup. Lady, I only spend $60 a month on my hair at the salon, and I don't even buy anything fancy for it. Maybe it's because I realize, because of my age, you're sitting there and you're throwing all of this money on cosmetics, trying to look like a certain thing, gluing wig caps to your scalp, wigs to wig caps. You're destroying your real hair because your real hair can't breathe. You're going to get ingrown hair, so you keep going there. And one day, your head's going to say, enough's enough. And one day you're going to lose your hair because you basically have told your real hair by the abuse that you don't want it anymore. And then you complain when you say you're jealous of other women because they got fine hair. I got fine hair, lady. I got wicked fine hair. It's so fine, it just blows everywhere. But I am not going to sit there and do the equivalent of run a beard trimmer, basically mow the grass completely off my scalp, then go ahead and slap a layer of glue on top of that, and then stick a wig cap on top of that, and then stick another section of glue on top of that, and glue a wig to my scalp. That's crazy. Why are you doing that? It doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. And you're spending all that money. Knock it off already. It's not worth it. Now, let me give something for the men to think about too. Because this is the second one is a guy thing more than a girl thing. Fancy cars. I have seen more guys, and when they always have the dream of their supercar, or whatever it is, usually a muscle car, and they're thinking, oh, I want the latest car where they want to pimp my ride. I want the best badass sound system. I want the biggest badass engine. I want to have the thing make a roar. I want the thing to basically pull 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Yeah, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Yeah, right. Okay. In all reality, in normal day driving, do you really need that kind of performance? Probably not. On top of that, you're spending how much on all this bling? And when you get out of the showroom, your car is immediately depreciating in value. You're not going to be getting anything more out of that car because cars are the biggest expenses, biggest loss of value. I don't care what brand it is. You're not going to be and the biggest expensive because if that thing ever breaks, you're going to be spending more money to fix it. Okay? Look, I can come up with an example that applies to both, especially computer people like me. Oh, I want the ultimate gaming machine. No, actually, I don't want the ultimate gaming machine because I have my reasons. So let's go through them. First and foremost, I don't have the electricity to run it. And I can't afford to build the ultimate gaming machine for $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 with the super large displays, super awesome tractor trailer simulated cockpit, all the fancy controllers and meters and gigas and doodads. I can't afford that. Okay, I don't need that. What have I been playing lately? World of Warcraft and Turtle Wow. What kind of processor does that really need? I originally was playing on a Xenon processor on my 2009 Mac Pro. 4,1 firmware upgrade to 5,1. While streaming to OBS, and nobody complained. At least I didn't complain about the speed. The game was more than fast enough. What I'm trying to say is, you're spending this huge chunk of money on a computer like that. That's going to depreciate just as fast, if not faster, than cars. So what you should do then, and that's what I told Red. I said, look, I don't need an i9 chip. I don't need an i7 chip. i5, probably because I stream too. But I am not going to sit there and spend a colossal fortune on a computer. Because it's ridiculous. So, I know what I need and I know what I don't need. And I know I want to play a game. But I know I'm not exactly the best game player. And I know that sooner or later, I'm going to get tired of playing the game. And I'm going to put it on the shelf for a while. And I might not come back to it for a couple months. And then I'm going to come back to it for a couple months. Play the game. Don't put the computer away again. Play the game again later on. It's cyclic. I already know this. I don't always play the game. So why should I go out there and spend a fortune playing the game because it doesn't make any sense? Okay, so if I do buy, for example, the computer when the registry rebate comes in, I did think of buying another 2009 Mac Pro. But I'm well aware of the fact that to buy another 2009 Mac Pro is ridiculous. Why? Because I'm going to probably run into the same problem again as happened to the last one. One, it uses a lot of energy. Two, the thing is probably likely going to have parts inside that's going to fail, and then I'm going to be stuck with another pile of broken pieces. Now, some might be asking a very valid question. Was it the computer that went bad, or was it the processor board that went bad? I don't know. But if it was the processor board, the only way I would have known that is if I could drop another board in the same model and then plug it in and see if it works any better. If it didn't, then I would have been out of money for a processor board, because then I would be stuck with two processor boards and then a broken computer chassis. So I look at this computer thing. Since I've already got a Mac Mini and one Mac Mini, and it works fine for everyday things. Yeah, even the World of Warcraft does work with for most part. But I do need an Intel machine with an Intel processor and more memory. Some of you might say, why don't you buy the last Intel Mac Mini? Well, because I've heard that some of those Intel Mac Minis suck. Well, maybe not. But they do have their limitations. Number one, just like this Mac Mini, everything plugs in with the USB cables. Everything. Okay? Your second monitor is going to use USB-C. Your main monitor is going to use HDMI. The keyboard is USB-C. Your mouse is USB-A. Your mouse is USB-A. Your external CD drive is USB-C or USB-A. Your hard drives are going to be USB-C or USB-A. You're going to be spending a lot of money getting a lot of USB-C dongles, and I don't think it was a really organized way of doing it. I really don't like that. When I had the 2009 Mac Pro, that was great. Right? I had everything was internal. The drives were inside the box. The only thing that plugged into the back, claimed through USB, was the cameras and the microphone and the mouse and the audio and all that stuff. In fact, the audio used the built-in line in and line out jacks. We didn't have to have an external USB adapter because the built-in audio input on that Mac is a joke. And my Mac Mini, for what I'm working with. Now, it used to be, okay, if you were going to stream, okay, on the 2009 Mac Pro, for Camera 1 or 5 Camera 1, you had either both optical output, analog input or output, and I believe it also did digital input and output through PCM. But the point is you had that. So you could then go ahead and in full duplex, you could run inputs coming in, outputs going out, and you didn't have an echo problem. So when I upgraded this computer, the Mac Mini, to stream, at first I just tried a direct plug swap. Now, all of a sudden, there was latency, and people were like, Michelle, you're getting echo. Why do I need to do that? Well, because at the time, the audio going into the computer was only mono. It wasn't stereo. It was designed for a headset, not for the way we usually hear. So that meant I had to buy an external, oh my God, I can't believe it. The UACC, I think it's something like that. the universal audio interface adapter, the 222, to actually process externally as a sound device the sound from the mixer and the sound to the mixer in full duplex so that we could get the mixer plugged in. Oh, I know the mixer has a built-in, okay, it's UCA 222, whatever. The point is, that's because the mixer's input outputs it was either all going out or all going in, but it wasn't all going in and all going out. So there was no full duplex. Again, which meant, oh, you're screwed, right? So that's why we set it up instead of going directly through the UCA 222, I went through and those used to plug it in that way and then plug the UCA 222 in, and then we kept everything in sync. But one thing about the Mac Pro 2009, I didn't need that hardware. That was not a requirement. I didn't need it. So now, if I bought an Intel machine like the Dell 6070, do I need that again? You know what? Maybe. And here's why. Because, one, it has a line-in jack and a line-out jack, just like in the old 2009. But if it's a headset jack, it's probably going to be mono, which means, again, I'm going to still need to use the UCA 222, being it's a USB audio class device, which means, guess what? You still need to use that. So all this, just to play a video game. Do you see what I'm saying to you? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money you're throwing out there. Every video game. Now, does that mean I would never consider buying another 2009 Mac Pro? Yeah, I'll consider buying one, but here's why. Because if I can get one at a price with a good processor board, that's important because it's a board. Because without the board, you ain't got no computer, okay? And I've got the video card. I have the memory sticks for the old computer. I could plug that in into the old motherboard, everything I had. And I would be able to get everything working. Here's the problem. Actually, it's less of a problem, but it's actually more of a solution. Let me try that differently. Here's the solution. It's an Intel machine. So that means no emulation. I just have to fire up in Catalina or fire up in High Sierra. I've got High Sierra. Just so I can play 32 or 64-bit games. And let's be honest, Turtle WoW is a 32-bit game. And it's not 64-bit. As long as Windows can run on 32-bit application, then I'm all set. That's the point. Well, I would say I would do that. But, this is key. The price of the machine has to be competitive for what one was going to pay for the Dell Optiplex 6070. Because there is a couple benefits with 2009 Mac Pro. And I will be honest, for internal 3.5-inch hot swappable drive bays. Wow. 4 PCIe slots. 232 or 216 lane and 2 8-bit lane slots. Wow, that's pretty big too. 2 built-in. Oh, actually 4 built-in USB 6. 2.0 ports. Okay, 2 on the front and 2 on the rear. I think that's right. I think that's right. Maybe it's more, but I don't know. 4, and this part is kind of waste, but for today's age, but I'll throw it out there anyway because it might be so. 4 FireWire 800 ports. FireWire 800 is not very well used anymore, but if you got it, you might as well use it, because you can certainly think of things that would plug into FireWire 400, FireWire 800. Now, do you want to go with the dual processor machine, or you want to go with the single processor machine? Do you want to go with a 4,1 and firmware upgraded, or do you want to stick with the 5,1 and from the beginning? Well, there's advantages to both, but that's beyond the point of this video. I think we're going to get a lot more complicated than we need to discuss. The point is, if I got a machine, like the one from Amazon that says, here is a Dell up to like 60, 70, 32 gigabytes of RAM, i5 processor with hard drive, as I might go with the hard drive instead of the SSD. I am really kind of cautious about SSDs. For, say, just round it up, say $200. Free shipping. Versus a similar setup on a 2009 Mac Pro, 32 gigabytes of RAM, which would be nice, right? A Xenon processor. I don't know which one, but there's so many of them as processors, it doesn't really matter. With 4 internal 3.5-inch SATA 3.0 slot, SATA 3 slots. Both computers set up with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and being, say, $200 a machine, but then paying another $75 for shipping. That's really a no-brainer. I'd rather get the Dell because, come on, I don't want to pay that much money for shipping. That's insane. Oh yeah, and the machine that you're buying for the Dell has been tested and is refurbished and is offering a fresh reinstall Windows 10, which you can upgrade to Windows 11 if you choose. Well, that's fine. I would do that. I would keep the Windows 10, but then, in that position, I'm going to put Windows XP. And here's why. Because a lot of the stuff I run don't need Windows 10. Okay? And I do not want Microsoft trying to slip a Mickey in the background, trying to make me upgrade to Windows 11. Andrew S. is having problems with his sound card. Brian PC is having problems with his sound card. There's more problems with Windows 11 than I want to deal with. Personally, I hate Windows enough that I might just go ahead and just throw Windows in the tip, install Linux, like Debian Linux, with a proper full wine emulator so I can play games without having to run with the Windows crap. Because I really, frankly, I do not want to run Windows. If I can get a computer under Linux with the appropriate guts, that's fine. But I don't really want to spend a lot of money on a piece of machine that's going to be a giant big pile of problems. So anyway, that's where we stand with the computer as far as spending money, buying money, investing money, whatever. That's another thing he said. He said is buy things to invest. For example, you want to buy a house? Buy a house to rent out. That means that you make revenue and investment. I don't disagree with that. That makes sense, right? You buy a house for yourself. You're not going to be getting anything out of it. It's not like you're not going to be renting it out. So what's going to happen? You're going to be spending your money, but you're not going to get anything back out of the deal. But if you buy a house or a computer or a car, if you want to be an Uber driver, and you're using it for investing into your future, now you're talking business. Because now you're making money. That's what he's trying to get at. I do see his point. Just as I see my point about which kind of computer I'm going to buy and why. It's not because I don't like certain computers, which I don't, but it's also as I don't want to spend money I don't have either. I just don't have the patience to do that. You see what I'm saying? I want to buy the right thing, and I want to go home, I want to be happy, I want to feel like, for me, for playing World of Warcraft, I don't need to spend a huge amount of money on the computer. It's not a big deal. First of all, I got a keyboard, video, mouse switch. I have a network switch. This is stuff that I bought from that Brian PC gave me. These two things can put the computer in the bedroom. The KVM will let me switch between my 2004 CarMax G5 and the other motor using an HDMI cable. So I can just jump from one to the other by pressing a button. And that means that I can have both machines running simultaneously if I need to, for some reason. How perfect. And let's be honest, the computer in the bedroom is not running right now. But then again, if it was running, in fact, this winter's coming, it's going to be very cold, and especially once winter comes in, and the landlord didn't tell the landlord to turn on the central boiler, and then we're all going to be freezing their ass off. I think you get the point. Alright, guys. For now, see you guys later. Just get a thought to what I said, because I think it's really interesting to see it from my perspective. Okay? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.